Welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into another fascinating treasure hiding right in your pocket change, the 1962 Jefferson nickel, a coin that many people overlook as ordinary, but which in reality can be worth far more than just 5 cents. At first glance, the 1962 nickel looks just like any other Jefferson nickel that you've seen for years. Thomas Jefferson on the obverse with his portrait facing left and Monticello, his famous Virginia home, on the reverse. But the truth is that certain examples of the 1962 Jefferson nickel are so rare and so desirable to collectors that they have sold for thousands, tens of thousands, and in some rare cases even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when the right combination of mint error, high grade, and collector demand comes together, you're looking at a coin that could be valued in the millions. It might sound unbelievable, but history has shown us time and again that nickels most people spend without a second thought can turn out to be once-in-a-lifetime discoveries. The 1962 nickel was struck at two mints, Philadelphia with no mint mark and Denver with the D mint mark. Between the two, over 380 million coins were produced, which makes it seem like they should all be common. And in lower grades, circulated coins are very common, often only worth face value, or maybe a little more if they are in lightly circulated condition. But as with so many coins, the real story begins when you look at the highest grade examples, because survival rates in perfect condition are much lower than the overall mintage might suggest. Back in the early 1960s, people weren't saving rolls of nickels the way they might have with silver coins or special commemoratives, and that means relatively few 1962 nickels were set aside in pristine condition. Most went straight into circulation, where they picked up marks, scratches, and wear. This is why grading plays such a critical role in the value of the 1962 Jefferson nickel. A coin graded MS-65 might only be worth a modest premium, perhaps a few dozen dollars at most. But push that same coin to MS-66, MS-67, or higher, especially with the elusive full steps designation, and suddenly you're looking at prices in the hundreds, thousands, and beyond. The full steps are particularly important. On the reverse of the Jefferson nickel, Monticello has steps leading up to the entrance, and only coins struck with extreme precision show all of those steps clearly. Most coins do not, because the design detail was often too fine for the mint's striking pressure. Coins with full steps are rare, and collectors prize them above all. For 1962, the full steps examples are especially scarce, and that scarcity translates directly into higher values. Auction records prove this point. For instance, a 1962 nickel graded MS-67 with full steps has sold for thousands of dollars, and in some cases close to or over $20,000 depending on the competition among collectors at the time of sale. These coins are condition rarities, meaning they are not rare because of the total number minted, but rare because so few survive in such exceptional condition. Collectors chasing registry sets want the very finest examples available, and they will pay almost any price to secure them. That demand is what drives values into the stratosphere. It's why one nickel, which to most people is worth a mere 5 cents, can sell for the price of a car, a vacation, or even a house. And then there are the mint errors. The 1962 Jefferson nickel is known to exist with several types of striking errors, and these can add enormous value to the coin. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing and the coin shows a blank crescent of metal, can bring in hundreds or even thousands depending on the degree of the error and whether the date is visible. Double strikes, where the coin is struck more than once and the designs overlap, are also dramatic and highly collectible. Then there are die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies hit each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of one side on the other. Each of these errors transforms a common nickel into a numismatic curiosity worth big money. Perhaps the most exciting possibility is the discovery of a major double die. If a 1962 Jefferson nickel were found with strong doubling on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "I in God we trust," such a coin could command staggering sums. We've seen double die cents and other denominations bring hundreds of thousands or even millions at auction, and a double-die 1962 nickel of dramatic quality could easily join those ranks. That's why collectors scrutinize these coins carefully, looking for anything unusual. Because when a coin is unique, when it stands out from the millions of others, its value has no ceiling. Another thing that sets the 1962 nickel apart is its place in history. By the early 1960s, silver coins were still circulating widely, and people were paying attention mostly to dimes, quarters, and half dollars made of silver. Nickels were overlooked, but that very fact is why they can be so valuable today. Since few were saved, few exist in top condition. That lack of foresight among the public has created scarcity for today's collectors. It's one of those ironic twists of history. Because people didn't think the 1962 nickel was worth saving, the ones that did survive in pristine condition are worth a fortune now. Think of the registry set competition again. Collectors building the finest sets graded by PCGS or NGC need every date in the best possible grade. For 1962, that might mean a single coin in MS67 with full steps becomes the key to an award-winning set. Two wealthy collectors might go head-to-head in an auction, each determined to own it. The bidding escalates, past $10,000, past $20,000, maybe even higher. That's how we've seen Jefferson nickels in seemingly ordinary years set record prices. And that's how a 1962 nickel, with the right attributes, could cross into six figures or even break into the $1 million range. Now imagine the thrill of finding one yourself. You're searching through an old jar of coins, or maybe a roll of nickels from the bank, and there it is, a 1962 in nearly perfect condition, or one with a dramatic mint error. To anyone else, it's just pocket change. But to you, armed with knowledge, it's a discovery that could change your life. That possibility, that chance of uncovering hidden treasure, is what keeps collectors hunting. And when the prize is a nickel that could be worth a fortune, the excitement is even greater. So the next time you see a 1962 Jefferson nickel, don't dismiss it. Look at it carefully. Check the mint mark to see if it's from Philadelphia or Denver. Examine the steps on Monticello with a magnifier. Study the date and lettering for signs of doubling. Look for off-center strikes or other anomalies. Every detail matters, and every detail could be the key to unlocking hidden value. Most coins will be ordinary, but 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 might be extraordinary. And that extraordinary coin could be worth thousands, tens of thousands, or even millions. This is the story of the 1962 Jefferson nickel, a coin that teaches us not to underestimate the everyday change in our pockets. It shows us that history, rarity, and collector demand can transform the most ordinary object into something truly extraordinary. Whether it's pristine condition, full steps detail, or a dramatic mint error, the right 1962 nickel is a coin that every collector dreams of finding. And that's why we keep searching, because you never know when the next rare treasure will turn up.